And Vladimir Duthier on the ground there in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And Vlad, I know that you have spoken to survivors there. How are people coping with what struck that nation?
Josh, you know, it's always tragic to come back here to Haiti for circumstances like these. The people in Jeremy are struggling. They are suffering. The most difficult part of our reporting, and when it really came home for us, is as we were touring one of the many destroyed villages in the Jeremy area, dozens of people, dozens of survivors surrounded me, and they asked me to write their names in my reporter's notebook, and I wrote them down: Bernard Chapoulier, Sonia Vendredi, Celise Alizé, Madame Vidal, all of them saying to me, please don't forget about us. Please remember that we're here, and don't forget about us. And that was really tough for all of us, because this was the only sign of their existence in their minds for the rest of the world to know about them. But the other flip side of that, Josh, is we were talking to one of the nurses that's been treating some of the people who have survived in this terrible hurricane. And she said, you know what, it's a Sunday, people are going to church, people are praying, and I really do believe that what has sustained the Haitian people over the hundreds of years of, in many cases, lots of misery, is their faith and their hope. And it's that that has allowed them to not be wiped off the face of the earth. That's a direct quote from her. And
a remarkable show of resilience, to be sure. I see the U.S. Army helicopter behind you. What is being done with regard to providing aid to the so many of thousands who need it?
The U.S. military is here on the ground, assisting the Haitian police in delivering that critical aid to Jeremy, to Lekai. We were there as they unloaded boxes and boxes and boxes of food. And on the flip side of that, as they were unloading the food, you could see hundreds of Haitians gathered beyond a border area that the UN was securing, just waiting for the moment that that food was going to be distributed. We visited a shelter that was left untouched by the hurricane because it's made of concrete. Most of the deaths, Josh, and most of the damage was done because out in the surrounding villages, most of the roofs of people's homes are made of tin. And that is clearly not ever going to sustain in 145-mile-an-hour wind. The roofs were ripped off the people's homes, animals were swept away, trees. This was, the Jeremy area was known to be a very lush, a very green area. That was completely leveled by Hurricane Matthew. You know, the trees themselves, Josh, became missiles that hurled into people's homes and hurled into the bodies of people. The coconuts that fell from those trees became like cannonballs. That's how people died. Yet they're waiting for this aid. The U.S. military with the Haitian police, for now, that's the only thing that we're seeing on the ground. One person telling me the members of their own government have been derelict in their responsibility, and in fact, we reporters were the only ones who were here to visit them.
I can only hope that that changes. The pictures of devastation are just as brutal as they are complete. Vladimir Duthier, important, vital reporting, and we certainly thank you for it.
Thanks, Josh.